Hey everybody, so this is a new what if that I actually wanted to make a long time ago, but I just had the final straw and I'm gonna make it. And this is probably gonna go really far. And I think this is the best lore I'm gonna have. So, this is what if Deku was All Might's son, or All Might was Deku's dad. Now, in this universe, some people are already claiming in theory that Deku's dad might be All for One or even All Might. But I'm just gonna stop all those rumors and just make my what if clear and pitch perfect that All Might is Deku's dad. So this story starts off, instead of Inko falling in love with Deku's original father, she falls in love with All Might. They pretty much bump into each other in the road, and she drops her stuff because in this point she was like in college or something. So she dropped her books and she was picking up some of the books with her levitation quirk. All Might complimented her on her quirk and said that's a pretty strong quirk. And Inko said, no, is what I just showed you is all that quirk can do. She says, I know a lot of friends I would kill for a quirk like that. So so pretty much after that, they did arrange numbers and they started calling each other. They had dates. Eventually, they started dating, and then on that they got married. And then they had Deku. So All Might basically is still All Might. He's just married to Inko and raises Deku. Pretty much the most time Deku spends with his father is mainly um Saturday, Friday, Sunday, and Saturday. Yes, Saturday, Friday, Thursday. That's pretty much it. Sunday, Mondays might be very. Mondays and Wednesdays might be a little bit too hard for All Might to be with his son, but he still interacts with his son every day. So Deku doesn't really have, a really. Deku's father does play a big role in his life. So Deku looks up to his father, to All Might, way more because come on, he's All Might's son. So Deku looks up to All Might way more than he originally did. He has way more All Might posters and stuff, and also Deku Deku's born a little bit different. Deku looks a little bit different. Deku was born with blue eyes instead of green eyes. So yeah, Deku also has Deku also has a little bit does grow up being as muscular as All Might, but he doesn't get as muscular as All Might because he didn't do the training. But All Might does train Deku when he's about 5. When All Might finds out Deku is actually born with a quirk. Deku's quirk is sort of a small scale telekinesis quirk. This quirk is more or less very weak and doesn't really help anybody in a really situation. It's sort of like Inko's quirk, but instead of just objects attracting towards her, Deku can push objects away from him, but just the same strength as his mother attracts objects to her. So yeah, Deku's quirk is basically just his mother's quirk, but more free opened. So Deku doesn't really use that quirk that much, just to get drinks and stuff, and pretty much just get the remote. Deku Deku mostly does train this quirk, try to make it stronger, but it never really does get stronger. Deku's father sees this, but Deku's father already intended to give Deku all for one, or all one for all when Deku was about 5, or at least 12 years old. Old enough to handle the quirk, but also have enough time to master it. So Deku's father on Deku's sixth birthday, All Might gave Deku one for all. All Might explained to Deku about all for one for all, and all that other stuff. All Might, All Might, Deku's dad gave Deku a piece of his hair and said to eat it so he would have his quirk. Deku ate it, and the next day Deku's quirk started activating. Deku did train with his father over the months, training with his new found quirk, training his body, and Deku, since he was All Might's son, he was a natural on controlling One for All. So Deku did get trained by his father, and by the time Deku was 16, he was about had the same experience that All Might had when he was becoming a pro hero. So Deku had the same experience as All Might in combat training because Deku did spar with his old man. So Deku more played a bigger role in All Might's life because All Might was training his son to be his successor. So Deku's father expected Deku to give one for all to his kid. So Deku's levitation quirk did get a lot stronger. Deku got full blown telekinesis, not just small scale telekinesis. Deku got full scale Magneto telekinesis, like full scale Jean Grey telekinesis type of stuff. So yeah, Deku did get an increased telekinesis, moving cars with his mind and crushing them, and pretty much breaking windows with his mind, stuff like that. Deku eventually got to a very high number. Deku could reach 10,000% of one for all, but that was his limit before his body started getting strained and his bones started breaking. So Deku was did feel like muscle pulls when he used his quirk, but not to the extent that it would hurt him or physically damage his body. So yeah, Deku was about when he was in middle school. Deku was actually very popular because come on, uh, everybody in his school knows that Deku's father is All Might. So Deku does train with his father over at the night times and pretty much after school, and some of his pretty much friends see Deku with his dad sometimes, and half of the time on Fridays, Deku's dad does pick up Deku sometimes. So Deku's very popular with the girls and guys because well Deku is the number one hero's son. That's like a lot of street cred. So Deku is best friends with Bakugo because Bakugo looks up to Deku like a big brother because well he is related to the number one hero. So yeah, Deku Deku's walking down the tunnel because after school, pretty much Deku didn't get bullied at all. They just didn't really react differently because they already knew Deku applied to UA because come on, All Might went to UA. So of course he's going to UA. So Deku was walking home through the tunnel actually, and Deku saw the sludge villain coming towards him. Deku saw the sludge villain before the sludge villain tried to tackle it out on Deku. So Deku used his quirk in the same way Deku used his quirk when he first got it in the original continuity, flicking his fingers towards the sludge villain, splattered him all around the tunnel. Deku called his dad, and his dad showed up, and Deku helped his dad scoop out the sludge villain. So after that, Deku's dad took the sludge villain back to the what was it? Oh yeah, back to the cops, and Deku followed after his dad. So Deku, and just a disclaimer, if you're wondering, All Might does have a lot more embers of All for One when he gave them to Deku in the original continuity. So All Might's gonna still have the same amount of time of being a hero than he had in the original continuity. So he won't be retiring early. That's what if you're thinking that. So Deku goes back home, and after the 10 months, Deku's father starts training Deku a lot harder, putting his body to the test, making Deku throw up, and pretty much making him pass out sometimes because he's over exhausting Deku to the point that Deku feel like he's dying. Deku eventually gets about the same body that All Might had when he was about Deku's age, and probably Deku gets really strong even when he's not even using his quirk. So Deku goes to the entrance exam the next day. Deku's father does give Deku the chance to have a recommendation, before Deku goes off to the entrance exam, and Deku thinks about it on the way there, when All Might's driving him to the entrance exam, and Deku tells his dad that I'm going to take the, pretty much, what was it, recommendation. Deku takes the recommendation and goes to UA the next day. Deku gets in class 1A, and pretty much, Ochaku does still get into UA. She just gets saved by a pro hero on the sidelines, so she doesn't die, okay? If you're wondering that. Because Deku wasn't there. So, Deku went in class and saw Bakugo talking to Ida. Bakugo stopped his conversation or his argument with Ida and said, "What's up, bro?" And pretty much giving Deku a secret handshake because they're best friends in this universe. So Deku walks off to his seat next to Ochaku and right next to Momo. The two girls recognize Deku because he was on the news one day because in about like 5 months after Deku was born, the Pro Hero Initiative, the public found out All Might did have a son. So Deku was recognized by kids all around the globe, and Momo and Ochaku recognized Deku as All Might's son because he had the same exact eyes as All Might. So Deku said, "Hey guys, hey, yeah, I know my dad. I know my dad's all public, but just don't treat me differently." The girls in the class are a little bit have a crush on Deku already off the bat because come on, he lived with the number one hero, and he's the son of the number one hero. He's probably All Might's successor even, and pretty much everybody assumes that Deku's All Might's successor because come on, Deku was All Might's son. Of course, All Might passed down quotation marks to his quirk to Deku because well, it didn't really pass down because One for All isn't really passed down genetically. You had to give it to the person that you want the quirk to have. So yeah. So Deku was in class and talking to all the girls and some of the guys trying to make friends. And Azawa walks in class and explains to the class they're doing quirk assessments. So they start off and Deku's told to throw the ball first. And Azawa just wants to see what All Might's son got. So Deku grabs the ball and throws it using 100% of One for All, but also using his telekinesis quirk, pushing it out of the atmosphere. For the long jump, Deku loses One for All on his legs, jumping over the sandpit. For the race, Deku jump speeds by everybody using his One for All in his legs, jumping by everybody. For the grip test, Deku uses his strength, going 100%, getting top score in all of the tests. So Deku gets top score, and Mineta gets expelled. Mineta gets expelled, but he's replaced with the quirk copying kid. The quirk copying kid, basically, what was it? Oh yeah, the quirk copying kid. In this universe, it's a female, but we'll get into that later. Because I'm going to be shipping Deku with a lot of people, and eventually he's going to be with his last ship, okay? Okay. So, after that, Deku goes back home, and he tells his dad about the day he had to school, and All Might says that's what a teacher did to me and my classmates in UA. So, Deku pretty much says, "Dad, I want to talk to you real quick." All Might says, "Okay, son, what do you want to talk about?" And Deku asks him about One for All a little bit more than he usually does, and asks him, do you know him? All Might says no, but the previous successor, the first one that passed down the quirk of One for All, did know him. It was his brother. All Might told Deku the true and final story about One for All and his side of perspective, and Deku did take that answer to heart. Deku and his dad were called in the kitchen because Deku's mother has finished dinner. So they went to eat, and I'm going to leave it off here. See you guys later. Bye.